Hello everybody, it's Vinyl Rich here with Vinyl Finds 51. Before I get started, I want to give a shout out to my favorite new channel, Vinyl in the Van. This dude is making some great videos. My only fear is that he's making too many, he's gonna burn out, and then he's just gonna drop by the wayside. Like I've seen a few. I mean, Working Class Wax. He's a guy that made some really good punk rock videos, and he changed his name, his YouTube name, like 3 or 4 times. Secondhand Choke. He's another guy who makes some. He shows some really good stuff. Most of the stuff I don't know anything about. But he likes to change the name of his channel, and he deletes all his stuff. I don't know. Just keep making videos of Vinyl in the Van. Anyways, he sent me this CD, Swap Meet versus Technology, I believe it's called. Yeah, versus Technology. Really cool, surfy, all instrumental. I wouldn't say it's punky. It's a little more well produced for that, or it's a good CD. Really, some of these songs are really good. In fact, I wanted to play this in the background of this video, but everybody's asleep. So he also sent this record. Who is it? The Magic Lantern, Shame, Shame, Shame. I mean, this looks right up my alley, you know? Late 60s, this came out in 69. This apparently was their biggest hit in the US. They're an English band, but this album, it's not very good. And he thought maybe I would like it, but it's not a rock album. It doesn't really know what it wants to be, and I don't know. There's people out there that probably like this album. It's in great shape. It's on Atlantic. I don't know what happened here, but if anybody wants this album, I'm willing to send it on. Every time I've ever said that, nobody's ever taken me up on my offer. But I mean, look at that cover, man. That is some great 60s looking shit. But it doesn't deliver. Now the rest of this is all killer, no filler, in my opinion. I think it's all late 60s. There might be a 70s, but I think it's all late 60s. First one here is Hourglass, The Power of Love. This is their second album. Came out in 68. Powerful vocals by none other than Gregg Allman. This is Gregg Allman and Duane Allman's band. This band was made up of 2 southern rock bands, the Allman Joys and Men It's. They both they went to LA, and their first album, I listened to it online. I didn't care for it as much. I saw a copy for $99, and there's no way I was going to pay that for it. I found this copy of their second album for way, way less than that. And this is the better album. It's got some Duane Allman leads kind of seeping through. It almost sounds like a 60s Allman Brothers album. It's a really good album. And this is the inner sleeve. What's kind of ironic is Cher, her album's on the inner sleeve. For you youngsters that don't know, Cher and Gregg Allman married. It's on Liberty. Really good album. I mean, I liked it a lot. Dead Wax 66 showed this, and he did a needle drop And I don't think that the Needle Drop did it justice. It's a really good album. This next one here is a band that, cheers everybody, we're drinking some Crystal here. It's imported cerveza, beer from the Andes, from Peru. The one thing I noticed, this is the second brand of Peruvian beer that I've bought, and they don't come in 12-ounce bottles. They're always 10-ounce. It's kind of weird, huh? I don't know. Maybe it's because those guys over there are kind of little guys. Anyways, this one here, Amandul 2. This is their third album. Came out in '71. This is the U.S. pressing, Dance of the Lemmings. I'm relatively new to this band. I probably heard of this band maybe 5 years ago. This is the first album I have of theirs. And this is probably my favorite album. I like Yeti, their second album. I'll probably get their first album if I ever find it. But also that Wolf City, I believe it is pretty cool. But after that, I don't really care for their albums. This is a really good German rock band. Early 70s, 71 as I said. Really, this is a great driving album. Just check it out on YouTube. I mean, most of you people already know this band. You probably knew them before I did. Like I said, it's a United Artists, US version. But this here is maybe my find of the bunch here. Great album. I don't know what else to say. I would like to get, there is an Amandul. I would love to get their first album. I guess this band broke off from that band. It was a commune in Germany in the late 60s. And the Amandul band they're not polished musicians. And that's what makes that album so great. Some of the better musicians, more refined musicians, broke off and they created Amandul 2. And their first albums are really good. This next one here is Mount Rushmore 69. I have their first album. I've talked about it before. When I was a kid, I used to buy albums in the dollar bins. And their first album was one that I picked up. I mean, they weren't dollar bins. You could get them 3 for $1 basically. And I liked that album. And I saw this and oh man, this is that band. This is their second album. It's that hard and heavy late 60s, early 70s sound that a lot of people have been showing. Well, a few months back, a lot of people were showing that stuff. It's a band from San Francisco, and really happy with this find also. And this is the inner sleeve. Like I said, for me, this is all killer stuff. There's no filler. And this is on Dot Records. Really good album. Next one here might be my second favorite find after that Amandul. It's a Blue Mountain Eagle. I've seen a few people show this. This is their only album that they produced. Came out in 1970. It's a psych acid rock band. It's not as psych as this cover would lead you to believe. It's actually, parts of this, it kind of reminds me of that early Crazy Horse with Neil Young, with that dual guitars. The dual guitars on this really are great. And I was so happy when I saw this. Man, that's a great album cover. And this is on Adco. Yeah, we all know the Adco label, the yellow label. And this one, it had this promo shot in here. pretty cool. That's real cool. And I had these other, really, these photocopies or whatever. They're just badly faded newspaper articles, promo stuff, I guess. But yeah, that was pretty cool to have in there. Now this next one is a band that I'm trying to get all their albums, and I have almost all of them. It's surprising the ones I don't have, but I'm not going to mention because I don't want anybody sending me VCLT. But Volunteers by Jefferson Airplane. This is came out in 70 or 69. 69 again, another 69 album. This is the first album with the drummer Joey Covington, and he was a rock drummer. Their drummer before this, he was a jazz drummer by trade, and some of the songs on this really rock out. I remember my friend Ron had this album when it came out, and I wasn't really impressed. There's kind of a country song, one on each side. And back in those days, there was a line drawn between the rock crowd and the country crowd. And then they also did Wooden Ships. And I always considered that a Crosby, Stills and Nash song. But actually, Paul Kantner was one of the writers of that song. And actually, this version came out before the Crosby, Stills and Nash version. But this is one of my favorite Jefferson Airplane albums. Really great. Like I was saying, this is one of my favorite Jefferson Airplane albums. It really rocks. Starts off with We Can Be Together, and then the second song, Good Shepherd. Oh my goodness, that is a great. The Farm, that's the country song on side one. And then Hey Frederick, great. I mean, it's just really great. It's Volunteers, the final song, just great. If you ever get the chance, I don't know if it's on YouTube, the Dick Cavett Show, he did a show the Monday after or following Woodstock, and Jefferson Airplane were on there, and they performed a couple of songs from this, and they got away with throwing the F-bomb on national TV. But yeah, great album. In fact, they were on that the Woodstock movie. They're one of the best bands on I think, that played there. I would say Jimi Hendrix, The Who, and Jefferson Airplane. And it's on this RCA label. I'm showing it, but this is not that Dynaflix. This is heavy, really cool, and this album sounds fantastic. Now the last album I'm going to show here, it's one that Dead Wax 66 showed. Dead Wax 66 showed in his last video. I believe it's his last video. That brings up a subject I'll talk about after this. Michigan Misfits. 14 rare and crude garage punk obscurities from the Motor State mid-60s. It is crude. I mean, for the most part, it's like high school kids, I think, garage bands, but it's not that real fuzzed out sound. There are some songs that have the fuzzed out and that organ, but for the most part, it isn't that at all. So I was kind of a little disappointed. Side 2, though, I on first listen, I've only listened to this one. On first listen, side 2, I did like more than side 1. The reason I picked this up, though, is Dead Wax 66 mentioned that it was only 300. I thought, you know what, I'm going to pick that up. Those 60 Psych albums. They get. I mean, I wish I would have got some of those 60s psych ones. You know, I picked up the first Pebbles, and I mean, I was into punk rock back then. That was enough for me. But man, I wish I would have picked up some more of those. But the other thing that sold me on this is the cover. And the cover in person is so much better than what it looked like on the video. But man, that is so cool. Zombie Miss Teenage Detroit. And it came with this insert with talks about each song, band. These are all taken from obscure singles. And very cool. Michigan Misfits. And that's all the records I'm going to show. The last couple of days I've been on YouTube. And I go to my subscriptions, you know, 'cause that's what I do. I click on subscriptions and I, you know, delete the ones I don't want to watch. And there's certain people I watch all their videos. There's some people, you know, I'll watch some of the time, and there's other ones very rarely will I watch them because, you know, they're just not doing it for me. You know, if I comment on your videos, I'm watching you. But anyways, I don't get to comment on all of them, but today I go on there and it has the videos, you know, that were posted today, and then after that it said older, and there was like, I think 5 videos it showed, and that was it. And I was like, and I don't know, it's kind of weird. Before I could just go back and back and back in time, and I wasn't able to do that today. I really wasn't planning on making this video, and not this late at night. I think it's like midnight or 1. My last video I made pretty late too. But anyways, I don't know. YouTube's kind of weird that way, you know. Anyways, take care, guys and gals.